Hey everybody, I just saw the movie Anniversary, the one that I previewed on this channel a couple weeks ago. You can go back and watch that video where I watched the preview and discuss the movie and what I found intriguing about it. Um, and I watched it just now, and I'm going to share some thoughts. Well, my thoughts are still fresh. Um, I liked the movie. I think it's a good movie. I think I would recommend the movie. Um, it's uh, it's about the things that I said it was about, and yet the preview doesn't tell you the full story. It just gives you a taste of what's going on, which is what a preview ought to do. It ought not show you everything that happens. Let's see, where do I begin? I don't think there's going to be any major spoilers. There's not going to be any major spoilers. I may talk about a few things that take place plot wise. But the family that we meet at the beginning is this wealthy family. I guess that they're. I was trying to place them, geographically. They live in some beautiful house on the coast. I thought it was maybe up in the northeast somewhere near Kennebunkport, or someplace like that, where or Martha's Vineyard, where rich liberal people live, rich liberal white people live, and throw beautiful parties and outdoor parties and wear beautiful clothes, and they're all pretty and great genes and liberal politics, like the Kennedys sort of. So it's not clear where they live, but the mother, Diane Lane's character, is a professor at Georgetown, which is in D.C. So I guess they must live near D.C. But it doesn't look like it to me, geographically speaking. So that's a little confusing, but that's really not too important. The family, the first time we meet the family, it's the parents' 25th anniversary. It's Diane Lane, and it's the guy, I don't know his name, but he's the guy who's like the coach. He's the coach on the Friday Night Lights TV show. He shows up a lot as like the stalwart, dad figure, or coach figure. He's tough, but he's also compassionate. Uh, Good-looking older guy, a guy in his 50s or possibly early 60s. So they're a beautiful older couple, celebrating their 25th anniversary, and everything seems great between them. They give this toast where they both talk about their love for one another, and it's actually, it avoids being mawkish, and she's this professor, like this high-toned liberal professor at Georgetown, but she actually says to him, one of the things that I love most about my life is being your wife. She says that to her husband, which is, wow, that's like, for some hoity-toity feminist white liberal, that's quite a thing to say to your husband. So this is a good, happy family, it would seem, but there's trouble brewing. Their offspring are, I'm sorry, I don't know anybody's names, but there's 3 daughters and 1 son. The daughter, who I think is the oldest daughter, is this kind of outspoken, kind of obnoxious uh, lesbian playwright. She doesn't look, she's not butchy looking. She's still attractive, but she like wears this jeans jacket, and over her dress, and you know like with some patches on it, and she talks very openly about her politics, and she's and so she's one character. There's another daughter who's married to this mulatto, this wealthy white acting mulatto guy, and they're, I guess, lawyers, or he's a lawyer. Maybe they're both lawyers, environmental lawyers. Um, so yeah, they all have these hoity-toity jobs, or these jobs that suggest that they're from privilege. The daughter who's still at home, who I remember her name, it's Birdie. That's her nickname. So they all say, "Hey Birdie, hey Bird is the word," when they're talking to her. And she's this sweet, blonde, pretty girl who's interested in science, and then there's the son. The son is the black sheep, sort of. He's the odd man out, not only because he's the only boy among these siblings, but also because he's sort of been branded a failure. He's somebody who's tried to be a writer, but either he's not very good, or he's been convinced that he's not very good, and he's given it up, and that's really disappointing to his mother, who was really pushing him in that direction, to be a writer. And but instead, he seems to have given up on his own writing career, and he's fallen in love with, and now is engaged to, this girl, who's the kind of the centerpiece of all of the chaos that follows. The girl that he's engaged with is somebody that Diane Lane's character remembers as a troublesome student, somebody who supported an authoritarian position on and was against democracy. And although the movie does a good job at not really getting that specific about going issue by issue, so that we don't get bogged down in petty politics. It also does a good job at just signaling what who these different characters, who they are, what they represent. So this girl who he's brought home, who he's brought to the anniversary party to meet his parents, it's discovered that that the mother and the girl clashed when she was a student, and that the mother was so triggered by the things that she was arguing for, and something that she wrote a paper on, and that she actually called her out in class, and one gets the impression kind of humiliated her, and now when she's being introduced again, the mother is not friendly to her at all. The girl is reaching out to the mother. The girl might have some ulterior motives. There's questions about why did she get with this guy who happens to be the son of this mother. Was it all part of a plan of revenge? To to get back at her for the humiliation that she suffered when she was her student. But the girl remains a cipher. You know, we don't really know what's going on inside of her mind, in her mind a lot of the time. And she's also just written this book that's a bestseller that's called The Change, and it's a book that's proposing that this enormous change be made to the way America is run, and sort of hints that we have hints or indications that she's basically saying we need to end the divisiveness of the democratic system and have this new system whereby we are all, the people are all valued, or something like that. It's got highfalutin rhetoric, but it also could easily be seen as like authoritarian or fascist, or even though there's nothing about, they don't talk about women's rights, they don't talk about race, like all of the really hot button issues aren't really brought into the mix. So in a way, it's kind of like Civil War, if you remember that movie from last year, where we had this civil war going on in America, but it wasn't. They didn't make it clear what the Civil War was over. And California and Texas were both in alliance with one another. They had both seceded together, which is sort of throws a wrench into things, because how could California and Texas be on the same side? So it kind of, this movie does the same thing. It indicates who this girl is, what she represents, what her politics are, and what her politics represent. If looked at metaphorically, or if applied to the real world, she would definitely be on the right. But her book has sold millions of copies, and so she's kind of a celebrity, and the mother, hates her from the very start. And the sister, the older sister, the lesbian playwright, is really in an early scene really mean and condescending to her brother, and really not very friendly to his wife. And she says something like, "Aha, so you're just living on mommy and daddy's," sort of making fun of him for being a failure, and just this is just in front of everybody. It's a very it's a very unpleasant scene, or it's a very tense scene, and what's supposed to be this fun kind of atmosphere of them running around, having fun at night after the party, all the kids, the offspring, together with their with the ones who have significant others being there as well. So we see this in the early scenes. We see this split in the family, with especially the older sister, and the scorn and contempt that she has for her brother, which seems entirely egregious. Again, she's not a very likable character, and neither really is Diane Lane's character particularly likable. We understand why she might be a little leery of this new girl, but she is absolutely, makes no effort to try to be nice, or to try to say, okay, well, let's let bygones be bygones. From the very start, she basically wants nothing to do with her. Now, this girl is also, what little we know about her past is that she's from a divorced family in the Midwest that wasn't very affluent, and that she didn't see much of her own parents, and so we get the impression that she's drawn to this family that's, that really, at the beginning anyway, there's a lot of love between the family members with these certain divisions notwithstanding. The other big relationship that goes sour in the movie is between the mother and the son. The mother, Diane Lane, you get the feeling that maybe he was her project, and she was being somewhat controlling and trying to push him in a certain direction, and lecturing him, like saying your writing is really good, you should keep at it, and but he felt again patronized, condescended to, like she was talking to one of her students, and so in a way he was the boy was like her favorite, or like her project, really, because again he's the one who hasn't really done much of anything, or doesn't. The youngest daughter hasn't, is still at home, but she's got this seemingly promising future because she's brilliant and she's interested in science and stuff. So that's how things start out, and props to the movie maker for, I haven't seen one battle after another, but my impression is that's a movie where everybody who's on the left is good, everyone who's on the right is bad, and that's normally what you see from Hollywood or from the movie industry when they're presenting a political division. But in this movie, we see really unlikable behavior from a couple of the liberal types, and the girl who wrote the book The Change, that's sweeping the nation, which eventually takes over the nation. She's seen as sort of a cipher. We don't know what to make of her, but she's not treated very well at least by Diane Lane. The father, he's a nice guy. He doesn't want conflict. He's sort of a, let's just all get along. Let's put politics aside and let's get along. The next time they get together is Thanksgiving, and of course, Thanksgiving is the paradigmatic holiday, right? It's the paradigmatic holiday for getting together with family. It's become this way, It's become this way because you've got all these liberal journals that are writing these awful stories, like how to argue with your Trump-loving grandfather at the at the Thanksgiving table this year. What to say to your QAnon-believing nephew at Thanksgiving this year, and so Thanksgiving is supposedly it's the day where, I guess even in some ways maybe even more than Christmas, it's a day where supposedly you see lots of people that you wouldn't ordinarily see, like the big family gathering. You get together and eat the turkey and all that, and Thanksgiving dinner is where things really go south, and fights actually break out, and conflicts develop, and we start to see where things are going. Now, the trajectory is the way these characters go is not what you would predict, not what I had predicted. Because the way the movie makes it look like, you think that I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I'll just say a couple things. Again, I want y'all to see it, so I don't want to give too much away. But you kind of expect that the girl who wrote the book is going to end up being the villain, and like the one who controls and manipulates everything. But a bit later on, she sort of gets decentered, and the son really starts who started out as this likable kid who was just kind of insecure and was getting bullied by his older sister, and was getting harangued by his mother, and started out very sympathetically. He develops into, once the power, that this book sells more and more, and then the change happens, and it's backed by some powerful corporation, and so actual political change takes place across the nation, and everybody starts. You might have seen from the preview, the design of the American flag where the stars are in the middle. That's the flag that represents the change, and so now those flags are everywhere, and there's an increasingly conformist, repressive society, and where dissidence is not tolerated, and the obnoxious, outspoken lesbian playwright sister gets attacked when she's publicly speaking, and she has to go on the run, and she becomes a fugitive, and so that becomes that becomes a story. But the most interesting thing, I think, is that the girl really doesn't the girl character, the fiance slash wife of the son, the one who wrote the book, The Change, she kind of goes off to the side a little bit, and the son starts his villain arc, because one gets the impression that he feels like he's been put down, looked down on by members of his family for a long time, or seen as the runt of the litter, seen as the failure, seen as the black sheep of the family. And now that, his wife wrote this book, and now that they've attained power, and he has actual political power, this change comes over him. Like in the beginning scene, he's wearing glasses, and he's got like a little bit half beard, and he's just this skinny kid, looks kind of uncomfortable, but he starts dressing in this, with these, it's hard to describe, but he starts like dressing in a way that suggests, a paternal authority, and he comes in and starts, swinging his dick around, metaphorically speaking, talking down to other members of the family and enjoying it, because now he knows he has implicit power over them because of the book that his wife, not because of anything he did, but because of his wife's book, and how she's now at some powerful position in this new regime, and he is too. So the conflict becomes more and more centered around him, and he becomes the real villain, whereas his wife is sort of concerned or not upset at a lot of the uncomfortable things that he is saying, the uncomfortable situations that he's creating by throwing his weight around in this way, and talking to them in this way. He's like, he wears like a I don't know how to describe it, like a sweater, and he's got a prominent ring on his finger, and he's got his hair coiffed really, he just looks very rich and powerful, and he's just loving it. He's reveling in it. So the story goes from there, and it follows what happens to this family as the change takes over America, and it's never predictable. It's I will say, we don't see things. There's a lot of things that a lot of movies where you say, oh, I know what's going to happen now. This character is going to become this way, and this character is going to become that way, at the beginning of the movie, or when I saw the preview for the movie, I sort of thought Diane Lane's going to be this really righteous, liberal person, and this girl is going to be this manipulative bitch who comes in and ruins and just destroys this family because she's the alt-right. She represents the alt-right essentially. But it ends up being much more complex portrayal of this family, and it follows them in the years to come, and we see the changes that are happening in the family and how they reflect the changes that are taking place in the society. The final day of the movie is their 30th anniversary. So it goes 5 years between the older couple's 25th anniversary, when the world's normal, when they're happy together, where even there's minor problems, but generally speaking, the family seems happy. And then the 30-year anniversary, where everything is askew and everything has been turned upside down, and the family's been torn to pieces in various ways. Different members having different allegiances, making different decisions that are alienating to others. So it's good. It's a good movie. It's powerful. It's creative. I like how it takes this genre of, like, sort of this this sort of almost soap opera-ish family drama, like a rich family having problems, and adds this layer to it of political complexity, and something that represents, that is that in some ways holds up a mirror to what's going on with all the division in our society today. So thumbs up, big thumbs up for Anniversary. I recommend seeing it. If you have seen it, tell me what you think. Thanks.